Gizzo, what's going on, everybody? All right, here we are. We only got 27 people. That's all right. It's a politics show, but we'll build an audience. We always do. Usually around 70, 80 people, sometimes more. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here for these shows, even though, it's probably better for some of our friendships, like me and Michael, for example, if Michael didn't watch these shows, but he doesn't get mad at me. So I'm glad that I have him here. At first I was like, certain people probably shouldn't watch my show. It's going to fuck everything up. People are going to get mad at me for my opinion, stuff like that. But it doesn't seem like it's been happening. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that you guys will come here and watch these streams too, not just the ones about MobTube. And I especially appreciate when people donate, because that means I could do these shows more often. Let me tell you why I like doing this now. I fucking hate MobTube, guys. I know for years I've been complaining about this, and there's a good reason why. It's not that I'm a whiner. It's because I'm not. Trust me, there's a lot of shit I'd be justified in complaining about that I don't. I don't like people who complain all fucking day. But the thing is, there's a lot of reasons. I've been through more than most people. I get tired of shit very easily. I have a short attention span. I don't give a fuck about any of this stuff. Even my enemies are like, to me, as far as calling them enemies is ridiculous, really, because these are people I don't know, and I'm probably never going to see in my entire fucking lifetime. They're really just a bunch of internet trolls. My camera's all fucked up again. I've been messing around in this room way too much lately. That's better. Nope, still crooked as fuck. Well, there's probably nothing I'll be able to do about that on this show. Anyway, hold on. Now I have to do this. Wait a minute. It's better. A lot of people like this, they really live for the fights and the arguments and all that bullshit. There was a time I guess I enjoyed it, like when I was really pissed off at somebody, like I'll always bring up the Angel War because I hated her and all her fucking friends so bad. I enjoyed nothing more than coming on here to abuse them. But I'm different than a lot of the people on here for the most part. I get sick of this shit. I've gotten sick of it a million times. I've wanted to try to figure out something else to do. But the more it goes on, the more exhausting it becomes. It's like we're all just talking about the same people every day over and over and over. Like I won't stay on one person for long. You know what I mean? Some people stay on a certain person for fucking months. No, I'll talk about you for a day or two. I'll move on to somebody else. But it's like Tony Pizza, MRE, Nick Romano now, fucking JC. It's like, Angel and them is the same fucking shit. Yeah, I mean, Chicago, you know what I mean? It's too much, bro. There you go. You saw the show earlier. Look at my shows for the last 3 or 4 days. I'm worn out. Look at yesterday. I couldn't fucking wait. Today, too, for the show to end. I figure, let me get an hour in, a little more than an hour. I'm fucking out of here. I can't stand this shit. Yesterday was counting down the seconds, actually. I was like, I was just trying to make it to the 1 hour mark. This morning, you saw it. It's like, okay, I talked about this to death. I talked about it for 50 fucking minutes. How much longer do I talk about it? I know people still like hearing this shit for some reason, but doesn't it get boring for over 3 fucking years about, it's just a bunch of people talking about each other constantly. Everybody's talking about the same people. No matter what channel you put on, those people on that channel are talking about the same people they were yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before that. I'm so sick of waking up and being like, gee, what happened last night? What can I talk about? And I got to, hit people up. Did this one do anything stupid? Did that did that one do anything stupid? Because I can't, you know what I mean? There's nothing to talk about anymore. MobTube is over. It sucks now. There's nothing to talk about anymore. You know what I mean? We've proven that MRE is everything he is. You know what I mean? We know that Tony Pizza is one of the biggest lowlifes on the face of the earth. We know that Angel and her crew are all delusional and in denial 24 hours a day. We know everything that's happening. You know what I mean? It's nothing more has to be taught. Everything is stupid. Yes. Nothing more has to be taught to anyone. Everybody's been convinced. You know, they know whether they admit it or not. They know. They know who's who and what's what. I've been desperately trying to make an escape for years, as you guys know. How many times I've taken breaks and I've tried to just figure out something else. And yeah, at times I even tried other things. But a mob tube, people want to hear about mob tube shit, which, okay, I guess that makes sense. But again, there's nothing really new happening anymore. What's new that's really exciting to the point where it's like, okay, we're having a whole new conversation now? Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing new. You know what I mean? There's nothing new. So uh, guys, I'm literally like just going through the motions. Like when you see me do a show like earlier, it's like, oh my god, okay, I have to do this. The last thing I want to be doing is talking about Tony fucking Pizza. But what else is there to talk about? It's fucking boring. What's up, Jimmy? I agree with you. Fuck them all. So anyway, that's why I've been doing the politics shit more and more, because it's very simple. Every single day, there's something new to talk about. Every single day with politics, especially if you're an anti-Trump person, because every day he does something insane. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's new, like I always have the shit on my mind. I watch it a lot, I read a lot, stuff like that. But to be able to get it off my chest and get to the point now where everybody's accepted, okay, this is how Chris feels politically, and this is what he's gonna say. These are the types of things he's gonna say, and if we don't like it, we shouldn't watch. That's all. I finally feel safe, I guess you could say, speaking my mind on how I feel politically. So uh that's another reason I appreciate you guys showing up for these. Even if right now we got 45 people, there's people that talk about MobTube every day. You can't get 45 people. You know what I mean? And it's just drama shit. There's people that buy views and subs and all types of other shit and just fake the funk. There's yeah, and trust me, by the end of this show, we'll have 90 to 100 people or somewhere close, maybe 70, 80. I already know it. You know what I mean? So I know some of you, like Jimmy, we do not agree politically. I know this show will probably make you mad today. So I just warn people, just so if they, if I think it's going to bother them, maybe they shouldn't watch. But that's that, guys. I don't know how much further we can go fucking mob to. What do we do next? Who do we talk about next? Even JC, it's like, like he does something crazy like the Michael Hensley thing. Okay, that was fun to talk about because it was so ridiculous. We could get some laughs out of it, shit like that. But even like the pizza shit earlier, you see, I mean, it's mostly the same thing. Like I said, the JC thing, that was something crazy that, he never did before. So, okay, let's talk about it. But even Tony Pizza, watch me earlier. Watch my body language. Look at me like this when I'm fucking doing the show and I'm listening to the clips somebody's sending me. Because it's like, yeah, we know. Yeah, Jimmy, absolutely. I don't get offended in any way, shape, or form by how you feel politically, and I hope you don't with me. Yeah, friends disagree. That's all. It's just politics is so crazy now. People actually, literally, get mad at each other and end friendships and stuff. So back to what I was saying. Yeah, I mean, look at look, just watch how I'm acting on these shows lately. I end the show and I go right into the living room and I'm like, oh baby, I can't take anymore. Like I can't. This is so fucking boring. Like I'm falling asleep. I'm the one talking and doing the show, and I'm falling asleep listening to myself. I can only imagine how other people feel. But for some reason, people enjoy this shit. If I were to name this show today, Ether, or slaughter day, or I'm gonna fuck everybody up, you know what I mean, it's gonna be a massacre, if I were to put something like that in a title, there'd be 200 fucking people here right now. But god, I'm fucking mighty, find me some new people to tear apart, because Is Aubrey in here to start trouble? If so, somebody get rid of Aubrey for me too. You know what I mean? Well, two, I said. I'm sorry. If Chicago, I think she was talking shit to you or something. I don't know. Get rid of Aubrey if you want. She's obviously here to start fucking trouble. I don't even know who the fuck that is. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't even know where I was at. I'm just disgusted. Disgusted. It's like, oh God, a fucking mighty. And listen, guys, to do 2 shows a day, you got to have a lot to fucking talk about. I'm not one of those people who has a panel. I don't have a co-host. I don't have anything. People with panels, they could do 4-hour shows. They do maybe a fucking 20% of the talking. And other people to bring up different ideas and subjects and topics, and boom, you could get into that. I just got me. I wake up every day with no clue as to what I'm going to talk about, unless something crazy happened the night before. And then a few hours later, I got to figure out something else to talk about. It's like, gee, JC, Tony Pizza, MRE, Angel and them. That's what I call them, Angel and them. Whoever else. You just go over a list of fucking content creators in your head, and you decide, what can I say about them today? I don't even like doing that anyway. You know what I mean? I don't. Oh, no problem, Michael Hensley. I got you no matter what. You know that. So that's that, guys. We can get into the politics. Because I figure it like this. We're still recovering from Shanna losing her job and all that stuff. But if I was really financially comfortable right now, I would just do politics, period. And believe me, I would build the audience. There's no question about that with politics. Other things, I don't know, it might not catch on. Politics right now, as heated as things are, as divided as the country is, you're going to build an audience, especially if you're as opinionated as I am. Plus, I'm pretty well informed on this stuff. I have a lot to say. You know what I mean? Let me see something. What did I just get? Oh, yeah. I saw that. I got to get back to him. It's election time. Like, no matter what side you're on, let me tell you something. If you are highly opinionated and you got the gift of gab and you make a channel talking about either Trump or Harris, Republicans or Democrats, you are going to make some fucking money, because there are people that will throw money at you to hear you fucking, you know what I mean? Basically, hear somebody like-minded, voice their opinions, because, they have the same opinions. They feel the same way. So it's my new venture, we'll say. I'm going to try to do these as often as possible, because quite honestly, even if I ain't making that much money, because everybody knows the story, Aubrey, you stupid bitch. We're not friends anymore. Fucking move on, cunt. Let me see something. Yeah, you're right, Enzo. Yeah, I know. 6 figures a year while I sit at home and I talk on camera for fucking 2 to 3 hours a day. Yeah, that's totally played out. No jerk off. Fucking talking about the same shit is played out. You go get a trade or start a business and stop worrying about what the fuck I'm doing. Stop coming into my chat. Fucking talking to me. I don't even know who the fuck you are. I've never even seen you before. Go get some fucking ideas. You know what I mean? And do something to better yourself. Stop worrying about what I'm doing. Let me do something here real quick, guys. People get very touchy about these politics shows. Very, very touchy. Subscribers. How long should we say? How about 2 weeks? Now you have to be a subscriber of at least 2 weeks to comment in my chat. Yeah, I'm sure you do, Enzo. I'm sure that's why you're tending to your business right now rather than fucking, paying attention to what I'm doing, watching my fucking show. Go handle your business, bro. Don't worry about me. We live a great life, Enzo, whether you want to believe it or not. We do pretty fucking well, me and Shanna. Jesus Christ, I can't even say anything. They're like, oh, it's all over. Time for FBS to go get a trade. Blow me, Enzo. So anyway, here we go. I'm not going to do any more of a preamble. You get what I'm saying about why I'm trying to switch over to this whole fucking politics thing. And quite honestly, no matter who wins the election, still going to be shit to talk about. If Trump loses, Trump ain't going no fucking where. You know what I mean? Trump will still be in control of the Republican Party. He'll still be dictating what they do, what they vote on, what they don't vote on. He'll be, basically in charge of who gets elected, who doesn't, because he owns the Republican Party and he has that base. And now, if he wins, anybody who talks about Trump, anti-Trump stuff, at least, well, either way, really, pro-Trump, anti-Trump, you're gonna have something to talk about every day because he is a fucking lunatic. He's out of his mind. I'm gonna give you an example in a second. Was it really Chicago? Oh, kind of. Wait, which one are you talking about? Which time? I don't know. Are you talking about the phone call? Yeah, they're worried about me and my fucking employment. Meanwhile, my credit is damn near perfect now. We have more money saved than we ever did, even with Shanna losing her fucking job. You know what I mean? And we do everything we want in life, and I'm a guy with a fucking high school dropout. You know what I'm saying? And I do pretty goddamn well. The problem is with people like Enzo and shit. If they were happy in their lives and they were really doing their thing and making money, they wouldn't be worried about what I'm doing. But the problem is people like Enzo would love to be doing this. They would give anything. They'd be on here in a heartbeat asking for donations. You kidding me? Every fucking day. Because let me tell you something again, Enzo. Asking for donations is not unique to FBS. It's part of YouTube. It's literally what you have to do if you have a small channel to make money. You can't make money off views. You know what I mean? Especially not if you want to make a living. Every YouTube content creator with a small channel who does live streams asks for donations. All of them. Everybody. Okay? So it's not unique to me. You guys just try to make it seem that way, So let's get into the politics. Guys, I know this pisses people off. They don't want to hear it. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I think I remember that, Chicago. I just don't remember what it was. It happened in the chat. You were in the chat, right? FBS, have you ever thought of becoming a nuclear physicist? Sounds like a decent job. It's a lot of schooling, Tony Ducks. But you know what? This MobTube thing is going down the drain. So maybe. Thank you for the advice. All right, guys, let's go. Kamala Harris is killing it. Guys, she's fucking killing it. People can be in denial all they fucking want. Joe Bag of Donuts was in here with his line of bullshit. I love you, Joe, but come on. Talking about how, it's a free concert and Kamala just does an appearance. I don't think anybody performed at her shit yesterday. Okay, she was in Arizona, 20,000 fucking people. Biggest political rally in Arizona history. That includes Trump and Obama. Obama got 12,000 people. Okay? 20,000 fucking people. Before that, Wisconsin, Detroit, Philly. A couple of those events, she had opening acts. And then when I said, why did people stay? If you're saying that people were just there to see the musical performance, then why did they stay? For hours after that, for hours. Oh, maybe they did the concert at the end. No, Joe Bag of Donuts. I checked it out. The concerts are always in the beginning. They have the people perform in the beginning. And as far as I know, they didn't have nobody fucking yesterday. Bon Iver, which he brought up, I thought he said Bon Iver was in Philly. That's what he insinuated. Bon Iver performed in Wisconsin. I still don't know who the fuck that guy is. Okay. They had the one with Megan Thee Stallion and I think Quavo or something. And then they had the one with Bon Iver. That's it. They're doing rallies every fucking day. They got tons of people. Sadly, she is at 49%. Now she is at 47. What the fuck, man? She actually is schmoozing her way up. Sadly, she is at 49%. Now he's at 47. Oh, you talking about? Yeah. Okay, I read your thing. I thought you said she's at 49. Now she's at 47. I was confused. You could call it schmoozing, Anthony Santoro. You can call it that. Who is she schmoozing? This is like everybody, oh, she blew her way to the top. Show me proof of that. Who? Name the guys. Who was it? Who'd she fuck all the way to the top? I want to know. You just say it. People just say it. Yeah, Chicago, probably people you never heard of. People just say the shit. Nobody could tell me names. And they said she had an affair with Willie Brown. No, she didn't. Willie Brown had been separated from his wife for like fucking 14 years or something before they started dating. You know, she's schmoozing the American people. Oh, okay. Well, isn't that what politicians do? I guess. But she's kicking ass. She's kicking fucking at 20,000 people, and they showed video. The people were there 5 hours before. There was thousands upon thousands of people waiting for her and Tim Walz to get there. And again, I don't believe anybody famous showed up. I don't think there was any musical act, period. They're there for her. Guys, this is excitement. People are excited. And I'm going to tell you why they're excited. It's gloom and doom versus joy and hope. That's what it is. You listen to Trump, the whole world's coming to an end. And the worst thing he fucking does, the worst thing he fucking does is constantly bash our country. I know the Trump supporters feel like, you know, they hate this country. A lot of Trump supporters, we've gone over this, a lot of them, not all of them. They're racist people. They're angry, bitter people. Okay. And they don't like the country because of the color it's turning. You know, that's what it always comes down to. So they love to say shit like, oh, this country's turning to shit. Oh, this is like a third world country. Oh, this country's gone to hell. This is the least patriotic shit I've ever heard. If you say shit like that, or you cheer on a guy who says shit like that constantly, and then you call yourself a patriot, you are very confused. Okay? Very confused. That's not how it works. This is a great country. It's always been a great country. Well, not always. Okay. Let me be careful. But it's a great country. We have our freedom. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Talk to somebody from a third world country who's here and ask them what they think. And they'll tell you. You know what I mean? They'll tell you just how great America is. It's a great fucking country. Okay. It's the greatest country in the world. And you're supposed to be proud of it. You're supposed to take pride in it. You're supposed to talk it up, not down. You know what I mean? And these people who you know, are constantly talking this shit and then waving the flag and talking about what patriots they are. It's like, are you kidding me? You guys have the most grim outlook. You hate this country. Donald Trump hates this country with a fucking passion. He hates it. He hates it. So when you listen to a Trump rally, you hear fear-mongering and hatred. Period. The little dog whistles to the racist people out there, the white supremacists, people like that, the crazy QAnon shit he fucking says, the conspiracy theories, the constant complaining about our country, and then the lies, the constant fucking lies, lie after lie after lie about the craziest shit. Wait till I tell you the Willie Brown story in a second. Unbelievable, the shit he lies about. He is a fucking madman. You know, and then, listen, you know what happened yesterday? I'm going to tell you what happened yesterday. Yesterday, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris gave an amazing they each gave an amazing inspirational speech that got people happy and chanting and proud and fucking, you know, just, you know, joyful. It was amazing. Watching it was like, we hadn't seen anything like this since Obama. Facts. Everybody was happy. Everybody was fucking happy. It was all about hope, you know what I mean? And the future. That's what happened at that venue. Trump, on the other hand, did like a press conference from Mar-a-Lago, okay? Where he literally talked about damn near, pretty much, I'll say, nothing but his fucking crowd sizes. And I'll tell you why he's doing that, because this is driving him insane. See, I always said the crowd size thing, listen, it's not indicative of you know, like wide-ranging support. You know what I mean? It does. If you have 20,000 people at a rally, it doesn't mean you're going to win the election. It doesn't mean that you're going to have 81 million people vote for you. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean that. And on the other hand, You could be somebody like Joe Biden. I know you guys don't believe this, okay, but he never did a rally, and if he did, he probably had 10 people there, and he got 81 million votes. You know what I'm saying? So Trump lost that election. I'm sorry, and Trump had tens of thousands of people at every fucking rally. So they're not indicative of much of anything, but I do love throwing it in people's faces. Just like with polls. Polls don't mean that much to me because the polls are always wrong. I mean, always. Okay? Always wrong. And I think they had Romney winning in 2012. They had fucking Hillary winning in 2016. They had Trump winning in 2020. The polls are always wrong. But I like to throw them in people's faces because Trump supporters love to talk about the polls and the crowd sizes. They love it. They truly think it's indicative of a nationwide fucking movement that without a doubt is going to lead to Trump winning the election. It's just not the case. You know what I mean? It's not the case. Kamala's absolutely up in the polls, no doubt about it. And for people say she's not that far up, it went from being like over a 3-point lead, Trump having over a 3-point lead against Biden to now Trump being behind. So yeah, she made a lot of fucking progress. She covered a lot of ground. Oh yeah, no doubt, Anthony Santoro. They are. Okay, so this is a huge movement now. It just is. Kamala Harris. Like, people are loving this. People are happy. People are happy. They don't want to vote for a lot of people don't want to vote for this guy. But, when it came to Biden against him, some of them, I guess, were going to anyway. Now they're voting for Harris. And they should. Kamala, I'd hit that. She's kind of sexy for an older woman. I can't front. So where was I at? Fucking Bobby. God damn it. Yeah, it's big, and it's driving Trump crazy. It's driving him crazy. So yesterday he just went on and on about his crowd sizes. Okay, while Kamala was talking about the future, plans for the future, which is what a presidential candidate / presumptive nominee or nominee is supposed to be doing. Okay, that's what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be getting their crowd energized and ready and excited. You know what I mean? To vote for them. People can't wait to cast their vote. They want to see you in office. Trump, it's gloom and doom, and that's what they have to do. That's what they have to do because let's be honest, the Republicans have been trying to take us back to the 1950s since the 1950s. That's what it's all about. Kamala, the greatest campaign slogan ever is "We are not going back." Because that's all these people want. It's like millions of Archie bunkers. They just want to go back in time to when women had no rights and black people had no fucking rights. And, you know what I mean? Sex only happened after marriage. And, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. That's not how things, the country's progressing, whether you like it or not. So, in a way, you need a progressive leader. I know some people are one-issue voters. They can't stand transgender people. So based on just that alone, they'll vote for Trump. They hate political correctness. And somehow they've convinced themselves that Trump could actually do something about that. No president is going to stop that. Okay. Or the woke shit. This is how it is. Everything's woke now. I fucking hate it. But I'm smart enough to know that if Trump wins in November, every movie is still going to have a list of boxes that need to be checked. Black, white, gay, transgender, lesbian, fat, ugly. That's what every movie is going to look like. From now on, that's just the way it is. I fucking hate it, but it's the way it is. And everything else, all this other shit that's going on in schools and all that is not going to be stopped by a president. It's not. It's just not. Okay? Oh no, I love Archie Bunker. That's my favorite TV show of all time. That and Welcome Back, Kotter. No, I understand that, Anthony Santoro, but we know what Trump's presidency will look like. We don't know with Kamala yet, but we know with Trump. Because again, guys, the more you guys deny that Trump absolutely plans on fulfilling every policy suggestion in Project 2025, the more we find out just how involved with it he is. Okay? That's 100% the agenda. He calls it Agenda 47. It's Project 2025. You know what I mean? They want to be able to fucking use the military to break up protests. Boom. There's a constitutional right gone. Okay. We already know how they're going to do abortion and every fucking thing else. You know, no acceptance. No acceptances. Okay. Meaning that, you know, if you've been raped, if it was it's a child of incest, if the mother's dying, doesn't matter, no abortion. Now the funny part about that is that, yeah, oh, that's Trump's. Yeah, many people are saying, no matter what he says, he'll just say many people are saying. He'll never say who. But the funny thing about the pro life thing is, you know, the Republicans are concerned with babies right up until the point of birth, from conception. Okay, until that baby comes out of the womb. Once that baby comes out of the womb, they wash their hands of that baby. They don't want they don't want the mother to have paid maternity leave so she could actually have time to bond with her baby and, you know what I mean, recover from giving birth and all that stuff. No, they don't want that. They don't want any type of welfare, food stamps, nothing like that in case that baby was born to a poor mother, which many, 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 many babies are. They don't want any social safety net. That, God forbid, the kid has to get free lunches at school. Oh my God. They're against that. And then at 18 years old, they'll send you to fucking war to die because they love war. You know, that's just the way it is. That's the funniest thing. They're not pro-life. They're not pro-life. When there's a pandemic and they're telling you it's a joke, don't wear a mask, they're not pro-life. You know what I'm saying? So that's always cracked me up. But it's going to be, if you look at that Project 2025, look at how many constitutional rights they want to take away. Just in that thing I posted, there's at least 3 or 4. And there's many more than that. That's why it was funny. When Common was on that day, I thought about this earlier. This came to me earlier. We were arguing about the Supreme Court or something. And he goes, well, of course they wanted to. He said something like, of course they want to rush Supreme Court justices in there, like conservative ones, so they can uphold the Constitution. Which part of the Constitution do they want to uphold, the Republicans? Oh, that's right, the Second Amendment. Forget the First Amendment and every other amendment. Just the Second Amendment. That's not the entire Constitution, guys. I hate to tell you. If you want the Constitution upheld so you can have your fucking guns, then there's a lot of shit that goes along with that. And when your orange leader comes out saying, talking about things he wants to do, like lock up fucking reporters and tighten up libel laws so that reporters can be sued and every fucking thing else. He wants to take away freedom of speech, freedom of press, the right to assemble. You fucking name it. He wants to take it away. The same people who are constantly talking about language, you know what I mean? And, hold on, what was I just going to say? Sorry, guys, I lose my train of thought sometimes. The same people that are always talking about freedom of speech, because they don't want any of their language, anything they say, any words they use, anything. They don't want to be, restrained from being able to say what they want. All they do is preach about freedom of speech. Meanwhile, they want to take freedom of speech away. They absolutely do. I'm not going to get into this, okay, too much. But let me tell you something about Colin Kaepernick. Okay, Colin Kaepernick was exercising a constitutional right. That's what he was doing. That was the craziest thing about what people were saying. And trust me, I talked to vets myself. Through social media, in person, and I asked them about that shit when it was going on around that time and since. And every vet I've spoken to was okay with what he did. And what they said to me is, I fought for his right to do that. Okay? Now, the social media narrative was, I fought, you're disrespecting the people who fought for this country by kneeling for the national anthem. No. You don't understand what freedom of speech is, do you? Freedom of speech is your right to speak out against the government. It's not your right to drop the N-word on YouTube, okay, or say, throw derogatory slurs at people, or just be an open racist or anti-Semite, and a private company can't do anything about it. Freedom of speech has nothing to do with private companies. They could do whatever they want. Facebook, YouTube, any of that. You don't have freedom of speech with private companies. Freedom of speech is for the government. You could speak out against the government and you can't be punished for it. That's freedom of speech. Okay? So what Colin Kaepernick was doing was literally exercising his First Amendment right. He has a right to protest in any way he sees fit, as long as it's not breaking the law in any way. Okay? He has the right. So, hearing all these right-wingers talk about freedom of speech and this and that, it's like, what do you mean? And let me tell you something. If that was Tom Brady, holy fuck, if that was Tom Brady, say Obama did something that Tom Brady didn't like, and he decided, I'm going to fucking sit out the national anthem. You guys, the fucking the Trump supporter type of people, you right wingers, Republicans, you would have fucking all across the country, because a lot of you, no offense, but many of you are like, you practice very cult-like behavior. You would have all been all over social media in your backyard on one knee. I stand with Brady. You would have. You would have. It was because it was a black guy and he was protesting something. You think it's cool. You like that black people just get killed by the fucking police randomly. I'm not talking about every Trump supporter. You know who I'm talking about. That sick base. Okay? They love that shit. A cop can't kill somebody without them saying the cop was in the right. Sonia Massey, they lead her to a pot of water. They tell her, go check that pot of water. She grabs the pot of water, puts it in the sink, and they fucking shoot her and kill her. She was no threat to anybody. Okay? And there's right-wingers on TikTok every fucking day talking about how that cop was justified. No, you saw a white cop kill a black person, and you're cool with that. You're cool with that. So when Colin Kaepernick fucking protests that, oh my God. So I heard somebody say once that America is so racist that even protesting racism is considered racist. And he was right. He was right. It's like when Black Lives Matter, I don't care about that organization. I'm not defending them. I don't give a fuck. Okay. I have no skin in the game. It's not, it's never any cause I was concerned about. Okay. But the words Black Lives Matter drove these racist motherfuckers insane, because to them, they don't matter. And then they took it and they morphed it into something else, and they started acting like as if it meant only Black Lives Matter. That's not what they said. Okay, so they started doing Blue Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. Nobody said all lives don't. What they're saying is the way it looks in society every day, Black lives don't. So they're letting you know they matter also, not that they only matter. Now, whatever that organization turned into, I probably wouldn't agree with 99% of it. And the stuff I know about it, I don't agree with it much. I don't, like I said, it's not about the organization. It's about the language. It's people hear Black Lives Matter and they're like, what? How dare they say that? To them, that's racist. That's black people being racist, and according to them. That's insane. But that's how it is. They wanted to make sure he did not have the right or the ability to protest the way he wanted to. Okay. And he was punished in every way, shape, and form for doing what he did. And I give him props. I was living with a dude at the time. Me and this guy were roommates. We had a house on Boundary Avenue, and he was like, what is it with Colin Kaepernick? He was one of these guys raised by a redneck family out in Stewartstown in Southern York County by Maryland, all hillbillies. And he was like, Colin Kaepernick's a joke, man. He's a fucking millionaire. He doesn't have to deal with this shit. He doesn't get pulled over randomly. He doesn't have to worry about a cop shooting him. I said, well, isn't that what makes it noble? Because he's not doing it out of his own best interests only. He's doing it because it's happening to other people and he's concerned about them. Yeah, that's kind of what protesting should always be about. You know what I mean? He's not doing it just because of something that happened to him. He's doing it for the better good of other people. He put his ass on the line. He lost his fucking job and everything. So, the funny thing about Republicans is they're very confused. They're very confused because everything they say they don't want is exactly what they want in the end, always. Okay, look, 79 people. Told you. Guys, donate, please. I'd appreciate it very, very much. Um, uh, they say they don't want big government. They don't want government poking their noses into other people's lives. Yes, they do. They absolutely do. What do you mean? There's a million different ways they do. Just the overturning Roe v. Wade is one of them. No, government shouldn't be that involved in our private lives, except they could tell us what to do with our fucking bodies, what we can and can't do in such a private situation like that. Are you kidding me? Like, they say, they tell the left, we don't want these kind of books in schools. You know what I mean? We don't want people learning about this gay shit and this transgender shit, right? But what are they all fighting for? The Republican politicians for years now, and they've done it in some states, they want history books scrubbed of anything slavery related. You believe this shit? They don't want slavery to be taught anymore. If it was up to them, no child from here until eternity will ever learn about slavery again. Why is that? Because they want people to believe that racism doesn't actually exist. Okay? So the same thing they're saying about books in schools is what they're doing now. They're taking books out of schools. They're taking shit out of books that are in schools. There's a million different ways. They talk about cancel culture. I watched the fucking thing the other day. I watched the thing. This woman made a joke on TikTok about the attempted assassination and said, it's a shame that he missed about the kid, Thomas Matthew Brooks. They went to her job. These hillbillies went to her job at Home Depot and got her fired. She's like a 60-something-year-old lady. And they're cheering about this on TikTok. And I'm like, the same guys that bitch about the left and cancel culture. Look what you just did. Now, as soon as it hurts your fucking feelings, you want to cancel people. You're a bunch of fucking babies. So let me read some comments and I'll move on to the next topic. I want to see what you guys have to say, as always. And I want you guys to donate, too. I'd appreciate it, guys. It's Saturday. It's beautiful out. I'm sitting here with you. You're obviously being entertained. You're commenting in the chat and everything. You guys could throw some money my way. It's all right. Consider it a tip. That's what it is. Kamala has a great political history way prior than her VP. She absolutely does, Kat. Yeah, and there's a veteran right here. It's a veteran. Because it's just him. I don't know what. There were no abortions late term. He spews so many lies. That's the other thing. And somebody came in here and they're talking about the guy Ralph, whatever the fuck his name is, in Virginia or whatever the fuck. The guy that talked about we'll set the baby aside and then the doctor and the mother will figure out. Listen, that's one lunatic. And the Democrats all lashed out at him about that. There's no such thing. These things are not happening. Babies are not being aborted in the 9th month. You know what I mean? Right before the woman's about to give birth. This is not a thing. This is not a thing. There's always limits on abortion. And you can't commit. Guys, when they say they want after birth abortions, like post-birth abortion, that is an execution. That's illegal. That can't happen. One fucking lunatic says that. And they're like, oh, that's what the Democrats want. That is not what the Democrats want. You're crazy. So, yeah, he spews lies. It's all fear-mongering. You know, Kat. It's like, oh, my God, look what they're going to do to us. Every day, it's these ones are coming to attack us. These ones, it's the Mexicans, it's the Muslims, it's this, it's that. Everybody grab your guns and buy as many more as you can. Because we need to give more money to the fucking, or we need to get more money in donations from the fucking gun manufacturers and the NRA. You know, that's what politicians are worried about. It's the only reason Republicans care about the Second Amendment. And why they're trying to constantly scare the shit out of you, because the more you're scared, the more you'll vote for them and the more guns you'll buy. And when you buy them guns, okay, those gun manufacturers make money and they kick up money to the NRA, okay, and money goes to the fucking politicians. It lines those Republican politicians' pockets. You know what I mean? All those campaign contributions and donations and shit. That's what it's all about. They don't give a fuck. You think these guys give a fuck if you have your Second Amendment right? They're trying to take all your other rights away. What do they care? But there's something in it for them. There's something in it for them. The NRA makes a fortune from gun manufacturers. A fortune. Not just from their membership fees and stuff. You know what I mean? And then they kick up to the politicians. Simple as that. Tons of fucking money. Tons of money. Trump wanted to suspend the Constitution. Yeah, I tried to explain that once. I'm not always, I can't always articulate things as well as I want to. But yeah, he actually, and it was on his Truth Social, guys. So don't give me no shit about the fake news. It was on his Truth Social, and you can look it up and find it. He wanted to suspend the Constitution basically so he could steal the election. Okay, and he's doing everything in his power to steal the election already. Okay, they're telling everybody right now they're all for mail-in ballots because they want people to vote for them, as many people as possible. Meanwhile, there's all types of lawsuits from the RNC and Trump himself in the courts right now where they're trying to stop mail-in ballot voting in all types of states or limit it as much as possible. All different states, so. Oh my God, listen to Chicago Muscle. And she said, Kat said, CM, I know you're kidding, right? Yeah, I will give Chicago that. That's one guy. I know he feels completely opposite of me when it comes to politics, but he doesn't, he never got mad at me once. Sabrina Merrick, if I didn't already shout this out, thank you for the $5. She always looks out for me, Sabrina. Absolute sweetheart. Thank you so much. And JD Hopes, $4.99. Great show, FBS. Thank you. Thank you, JD Hopes. I appreciate that, man. I made $40 in super chats on my first show. If you guys could hook it up, it would mean a lot to me. Whether you agree with me or not. I am here to add humor. I always keep things light when politics and religion are spoken on. I will give you that. You do. I got 20 guys to vote for me by free. Get the fuck out of here. I am used to taking a knee. I know you are. He wasn't breaking the law and he was peaceful. Him kneeling did not cause harm to others. Well, there's something you'll if you really look for it and you keep an open mind. You don't even really have to look for it. Just keep an open mind and pay attention. One thing you'll realize is that there is no right way for black people to protest. No matter how they do it, according to the right, they are wrong. I'm talking about the right wing. You know what I mean? The right wingers, the Republicans. They are wrong. They can't do it peacefully on a football field or on a basketball court. That's wrong. If they do that, that's wrong. They're disrespecting the military and the flag and all types of other shit. Meanwhile, they're literally showing respect to the military. They're saying, you fought for me to have the right to do this. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the street marching, wrong, can't do it that way. If you're rioting, wrong, can't do it that way. No matter what. When minorities try to protest in this country, they're wrong. There's no right way they can do it, according to half of this country. So of course Colin Kaepernick, the guy did nothing wrong, nothing. He exercised his fucking freedom of speech. You know what I mean? And look how much he was punished for that. It's not supposed to happen. But these so-called patriots, they loved it. He couldn't be punished enough for them. That's right, Chicago. MAGA is spreading faster than an STD. I don't know, man. I think it's slowing down a lot, bro. Ryan Morrison, come on, FBS. We all love the Donald. No, we don't. Just a heads up, I'm registered non-party affiliated for 20 years. I believe they are all douchey. I'm just tired of that last 3 years. That's all right, bro. I respect that. Personally, I think the last 3 years were phenomenal. You know what I mean? And I have no reason not to. I'm making great fucking money. I mean, there's slow periods like this, but I do pretty well for myself. My wife does great for herself. Other than gas prices being a little high and inflation. And let me explain something to you guys. Inflation is not controlled by the fucking president. Can I explain something to you guys that's going to blow your fucking mind about why we've had inflation over the last, damn near 4 years now? Can I explain? You're not going to believe this. The money that was lost to all different types of companies and businesses who manufacture and sell all different types of products has to be made up for. Companies raise prices. And a lot of companies raised prices on a lot of things after COVID. Okay? After COVID. Therefore, prices went up. That's it. And it's been going down steadily for at least since March or so. Okay? Right now, I believe it's 9 points higher than it was when Trump was in office. Okay, it's not that much. When you hear Trump talking about you're paying 2 and 3 times what you used to pay for groceries, no, you're not. I think it hit like 29% at one point. Okay, and when these people say, "Oh, a bag of groceries that used to cost me $60 now costs me 200," no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Stop fucking lying. Stop exaggerating. No, it does not. It has not been that fucking bad. And a lot of it is because of COVID. And guess what? A lot of that is because of how Trump fucked up COVID. Like gas prices. He stopped a lot of oil production. Okay, the gas prices hit a record low during COVID because, well, not a record low, but maybe I don't remember exactly what it was. Because it couldn't have been a record because at times it was cheaper. You know what I mean, though. The gas prices dropped substantially because there was no demand for gas. People weren't driving their cars. You know what I mean? They weren't driving their cars. Okay, and all types of food manufacturers and stuff couldn't keep up with production. People were buying shit up, hoarding shit, every fucking thing else. Everything got all fucked up. Okay, so he halted a lot of gas production. The gas prices dropped because nobody was driving. There was too much supply and not enough fucking demand. Okay, and eventually that's going to catch up to us. And that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. Now, for the people who say, about being energy dependent and all that, we have been for years. And America right now is producing more oil than it ever has in the entire history of our nation. Check it out. I know you don't hear that from Fox News. That is a fact. Okay, so as far as inflation, you blame that on the fucking president. But if Trump is in office next time, if he wins in November and he takes office in 2025 and there's inflation, you'll blame Biden for it. Well, maybe you should blame Trump for some of the inflation now, or at least gas prices, things like that. People don't understand how things work. A lot of shit that a president does not take effect until long after they leave office. Until long after they leave office. It doesn't. The Trump tax cuts, 2018. We're going to be feeling the effects of those tax cuts till 2028. 2 years, a cut for middle class. And then the next 8 years, a raise in middle class taxes. Meanwhile, they keep getting cut every year for the fucking top 1%, the richest people in this country. You know what I mean? So taxes started going up when Biden took office. And I remember when people were in this chat just a year ago or so talking about fucking my taxes have gone up since Biden's been in office. Meanwhile, Biden hasn't done anything. He hasn't passed any new tax legislation. Your taxes have been going up because the effects of Trump's tax cut on the middle class started when Biden took office. It was almost like it was designed that way. You know what I mean? Okay. So that's why taxes on the middle class are going up, and they're going to keep going up thanks to Trump for years to come. That's just the way it is. Guys, if you are a Republican and a working person, you are voting against your own best interests. They hate working class people. They're anti-union. They're anti-overtime. They don't want paid leave of any type. They don't want paid maternity leave. They don't want shit. That's just the way it is. They're anti-worker. They always have been. I mean, so it's mind-blowing to me that people are like, they're for the working man. They fucking hate the working man. They look down upon you. The only reason they need you is to fill their pockets and to vote for them. That's it. This, Jeff Tilley, I want you to explain to me why it's horrible. Why is it horrible? Tell me why kneeling for the national anthem is horrible. I want to know. How about when Trump was standing swaying like a fucking lunatic with his hands by his sides during the national anthem? There's all types of videos. He didn't have his hand over his heart or anything. That doesn't bother you guys. How about the flag? When Trump takes the flag, look at some Trump rallies. They got Trump all over the American flag. I saw one. It's a bunch of AR-15s over top of the American flag. It was made out of AR-15s. You know what I mean? Like the stripes, everything. That's not the desecration of the American flag in any way, shape, or form. But kneeling for it, that's a fucking problem. Tell me why, Jeff. I want to know. MAGA is a hate group just like the Tea Party Minutemen. Yep. Oh, yeah. Sonia Massey, sickening. And when they asked him at the National Association of Black Journalists, if why a cop like that should get immunity, because he wants to give police immunity so they can kill black people without any repercussions whatsoever, he couldn't answer the question. Oh, he pretended he didn't know about it. He's the leader of the Republican Party. He didn't know that. He didn't see the video of Sonia Massey being killed. The fucking lunatic spends like 18 hours out of every day on social fucking media. Yeah, okay. But he couldn't give an answer because he wants to give immunity to the police. And I think you guys forget that doesn't just mean they can kill black people without any types of consequences. They can kill any of us without any types of consequences. That's what Trump wants. MAGA aren't a hate group. I get you don't agree, but they aren't a hate group. No, you're just very confused, Ryan. You know what I mean? You see things the way you want to see them and not for what they are. They're absolutely a hate group. They absolutely are. The whole fucking movement started with the words, basically Mexicans are rapists. They're a hate group, bro. Listen to any of their rallies. They're a hate group. There's no way around that. Bro, I just explained to my son what Black Lives Matter stands for. He asked me if it was racist or comparable to white power. I had to explain to him why it started. Not in any way, shape, or form. It's people, cops were killing black people all the time. It was happening constantly. It seemed like every week another black guy was being killed. Sometimes, depending on how you looked at it, sometimes the cop was justified. I'll tell you, sometimes I think they were. Sometimes they weren't, though. Many times they weren't. Philando Castile, they told him that he was in the passenger seat. The cop shouldn't have even been fucking talking to him. And the cop said, give me your wallet, give me your license and shit. He reached for his wallet, they kill him. They told him to reach for his wallet. And guess what? Acquitted. A matter of fact, I don't even think they got prosecuted. A grand jury, I think, cleared them right away because that's how it always happens. Right? So that was going on. So they were saying, basically, black lives don't matter in this country. That's how society sees it. That's how the police see it. So our movement is going to be called Black Lives Matter. Not only Black Lives Matter. Okay? Then it would be racist. It would be completely and totally racist. Nobody ever said that. And then the real racist people got so angry, they started with the Blue Lives Matter and the All Lives Matter and even White Lives Matter. Nobody ever said they didn't. That's the problem. See, nobody ever said white lives didn't matter or blue lives didn't matter. But it was starting to seem like black lives didn't. It's as simple as that. Hate to break your heart, but your leader, Trump, has been convicted of 34 counts already, yet he hasn't been put in prison where he belongs. Yeah, and these people who think that that's going to be overturned, I got some news for you. He's getting sentenced next month. He's getting sentenced. The judge there's no doubt. Okay? He's given his opinion on these things. Everybody knows where he stands. Trump is being sentenced next month. Will he get prison time? Of course not. No, but he might get some probation. That would be funny. Have to check in every time he goes fucking anywhere, especially if he's the president. Hilarious. But that's what you guys want in office. Because since those were his felonies, those felonies don't count. Hunters count, and all the imaginary things you wanted Biden prosecuted for, they count. And all the imaginary things you wanted Hillary Clinton prosecuted for, they count. But if it's Trump, it's like, oh, it's bullshit. What do you mean he did that? He didn't do that. Or he did it, but it's not really a crime. Okay. That's really a crime. You can't get convicted of something that isn't really a crime. I got news for you. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't be convicted today for taking my trash out. That's not illegal. Okay. Now, if I throw it on my neighbor's lawn and set it on fire, I can be fucking prosecuted for that. There's laws, or there's crimes, and there's non-crimes. What he did was crimes. He committed crimes, period. Whether you think they're crimes or not, they are. My only issue with Black Lives Matter movement, I believe it started after Michael Brown, which that situation was not cut and dry. The media just made it out to be all about racism. I agree. I think Michael Brown was absolutely attacking that cop, Darren, whatever his name was, Darren Wilson or something. I believe so. Yeah. Put him in an expensive, but then right after that was the guy in Staten Island. What was his name? Oh my God. The one they fucking basically strangled to death. I forget his name. And then Freddie Gray in Baltimore, they gave him the nickel ride in the back of the van. You know what I mean? And so many others. So he's a sick fuck, Kanye West. Sick. My great uncle was a damn slave, no joke. Oh, he was white. Okay, I don't know. Because they also want to escape the reparations too that should have been given a long time ago. Listen, I'll tell you the truth, Kat. As far as the reparations thing, I don't agree with that at all. You know what I mean? That's just me. With anybody getting reparations, I don't personally agree with. That one I read, so I read it for my other column there. Post-abortion birth is murder. It would be the execution of a baby. It's not a thing. What are you talking about, Edward? Kyle, who? Rittenhouse? You think Democrats give a fuck? No. See, you make blanket statements. You say Democrats. Which Democrat? And I'll tell you if I think they give a fuck, Ryan. You know what I mean? That's such a stupid thing when you're like, oh, all politicians are the same. No, they're not. No, they are fucking not. They're not the same. Everybody's different. Okay. And the Republican, do I think Democrats give a fuck? It depends on the Democrat. Give me a name, Ryan. I'll tell you if I think they give a fuck. But this is what people who don't know much say. They just say Democrats as a whole. Like, oh, gee, I don't know. I'd have to sit here for the next 3 years or so and study every single Democrat and every single thing they believe in. And then I'll get back to you. And then I got to study their records and all that shit. What kind of question is that? Do I think Democrats give a fuck? I think some Democrats give a fuck. I think some don't. Why is anyone quick to abort when the government will give you free health care and food stamps, especially if you're not married? Then you're rewarded while hard workers struggle. Why is anyone quick to abort? That's a dumb, Anthony, we agree on a lot, but that's a dumb thing to say. You're rewarded. I mean, Anthony, this is looking at it from a very, very strange perspective. Like, okay, so it's great. Yeah. To like, basically what you're saying is if you're a single mother, this is like what Trump said about Corey Comparator being killed and how his wife, he basically feels like his wife should be over it now that she got some money. What do you mean? Like, so a woman has a baby, the father dips on her, takes the fuck off. Now she's got to raise a baby all by herself. But, oh, that's a great thing because she gets a tiny amount of food stamps and maybe some cash assistance and health care. What? Anthony, that's a bizarre thing you just said. You're rewarded. You're rewarded. Listen, abortion can happen for many reasons, Anthony Santoro. And let me tell you something. Some women just don't want their children. They just don't want them. You remember the story about the fucking high school girl it was like at prom or some shit. She gave birth in the bathroom. And I forget what she did with the baby. I don't even remember. Maybe you guys remember that story. Babies being left in dumpsters. Babies thrown away like trash. You want that? You think that's a better fate than, just ending the birth and they never make it to full term? Some people don't want their babies. And who's going to take them? Who's going to take them? I don't see a bunch of people lined up to take these babies that nobody wanted to begin with. And yeah, I know. Well, why'd you have unprotected sex? Why have you? Who the fuck hasn't? If you haven't had unprotected sex to the point where you accidentally got a girl pregnant, you haven't had much sex. Okay? Sorry. It just fucking happens. People get drunk. They have one night fucking stands. Maybe people are in a horrible fucking abusive marriage. And right before the marriage ends, the woman finally gets away from the guy. She gets fucking pregnant. Maybe a woman gets raped in an alley brutally. Maybe the woman gets raped by her fucking father or her brother, and now she's got a fucking product of incest in her belly for 9 fucking months. And she's got to raise that kid as a constant reminder of the rape that she went through. Sometimes it's not even your choice to get pregnant, Anthony. I don't think people are just quick to get abortions. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let me just run to the abortion clinic real quick, and then we'll go to the club after that. You know what I'm saying? Some people, yeah. I know women who counted on abortion. They will let guys nut in them all day and shoot their club up. You know what I mean? But they don't want the babies. That is wrong. But what does that mean? So no abortion, period? Because there's people like that who take advantage of it? That's crazy. There's all types of reasons for abortion, good reasons. Unless, like I said, the Republicans, look, you want them to have the babies, but you don't want to do shit for them after that. You want to complain that you go to work every day while they get food stamps so they could feed their children because they're fucking, living in abject poverty. I mean, what the fuck? Nobody wants to take care of the babies after they're born. They just want to make sure they make it here. So, which you can't have it both ways. You can't say we're going to make you have all the babies and then fuck you if you can't feed them. They'll just die. We won't even give you food stamps. You know what I mean? It doesn't really work that way. There's got to be some plan. Okay, you're going to make everybody have the babies. When they get pregnant, they have to have their baby. What are we going to do with the babies? What are we going to do with the ones that are unwanted? Who are they going to go to? How are we going to feed the ones that are born to poor people, which, by the way, most of this country is poor. Okay? They can't feed their kids. What do? We just let the baby starve now? We force them to bring the baby into the world. Come on, man. There's tons of reasonable there's tons of reasons, I'll just say, justifiable reasons for it. Me personally, I don't believe a woman should be president. I don't know what to say to that, Eric Falls. I totally disagree. I totally disagree. I mean, it depends on the woman and it depends on the man. In this case, the woman is Kamala Harris. The man is Donald Trump. If the woman was anybody with the exception only of Angela or NB, I'd say I'd vote for her over Trump. And then even if it was Angela or NB voting in a race against Trump for the presidency, I would just not vote. How you like me now? I told you I would vote for my microphone for president before I'd vote for Trump. Bobby Barbarian, what are your thoughts on foreign policies? What specifically? If it's about Israel and all that shit, listen, you don't want to hear my fucking opinions. As far as, aid to Ukraine and stuff like that, yeah, that's an ally. We should be giving them aid, absolutely. And the aid we're giving them isn't like the right-wing media tries to make it out to be. Like we're just flying them planes full of cash. 80% of what we've given the Ukraine is old military equipment. It's not, 20% of it is cash. 80% is old military equipment that they can use to fight their war against Russia. And guess what? That stimulates our economy. Because as that old equipment is given away, we need to rebuild new equipment. Okay? People need to be hired to manufacture, all these different new, whether it's weapons, whether it's tanks, no matter what it is, these jobs have to be, you know what I mean? It creates jobs. They need workers. So that stimulates the economy. You know what I mean? It creates a whole bunch of new jobs. It puts a whole bunch of tax money back into the system. That's how it works. So, people that are against aid to Ukraine blow my fucking mind. They're an ally. You know what I mean? Now, I used to be of the mindset that we should not be the world's police, which I still kind of feel like that. But this is the way it works. NATO, you know what I mean? Allies. It's the way it works. So, and listen, what Russia did to Ukraine is fucking despicable. So that's another thing. Republicans rooting for Putin it blows my mind. Blows my mind. I never thought I'd see the day. Don't agree with FBS lefty shit here, but great. He voices his opinion. Well, thank you, I guess. You had to call it lefty shit, but whatever. FBS supply and demand all over. Yep. You are so wrong. Inflation has been caused by mass printing of money. Inflation is an evil tax on people. Okay, Ryan. Whatever you say. I'm wrong about what I said. That the COVID didn't affect food manufacturers and everything else. That there wasn't a huge food shortage during fucking COVID. And that this eventually was going to cause the companies to need to recoup that money through the raising of their prices. Okay, you're right. I'm wrong. You're right, Ryan. That's what it is. A big part of the inflation is the printing of money by the Federal Reserve. That has been out of the control. So, yeah, of course, in general. But we're talking about now. That people want to say, they act like Biden's presidency is the only time we've ever seen inflation in this country. It's so bizarre to even hear it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't understand. I don't think people realize that there's other causes. Not to mention, guys, look it up. I went over this last show. It's the guy you want to be president, Donald Trump, who is threatening Jerome Powell, okay, and the Federal Reserve not to lower interest rates during this election. So if you're going to bitch about interest rates, you have Donald Trump to thank. Look it up. Read it. I posted it from 50 different sources. Okay? It's Trump. Trump is also, he stopped the border deal. Okay? He doesn't want gas prices going down. Look that up. Threatened oil companies. He does not want gas prices going down. He doesn't want gas prices going down during the election. Look all this up. Do not take my word for it. So blame him. Are you going to blame him at all? No, of course not, because he's, infallible. He's perfect. The Kaepernick thing, the NFL locked him out and did not welcome him back. I wonder how many of the teams that passed on him supported Trump. The team owners, many. We found out many. What? Which Cat? Let me go down to the bottom, Cat. Because I got all lost again. I'm going to go down to the bottom. I hate to skip all your comments like this, guys. But, Kat, can you put it in there now? Explain what? Oh, you probably meant something I already explained. My bad. I skipped down to the bottom, guys, because I can't get through all the comments. So anyway, yesterday, while Trump was bitching about crowd sizes, and I shit you not on this, guys, if you Ryan, tell me how he's better than Biden. Please don't make these general statements. Tell me how he's better than Biden. We can have the conversation. And what am I wrong about? About inflation? Okay. All right. No, Ryan, you're being willfully ignorant. There's things that affected the prices of groceries. There's things that are affecting the interest rates. There's things that affected the price of gas and still are. You're just not willing to see them because it doesn't fit your narrative. But tell me how Trump is miles better than Biden. And we'll go back and forth on it. Well, what's going on with Tom and Ryan? Let me see. Oh, you guys are talking about Irish shit. Okay. All right, let me move on. There's no more comments coming in right now. So while he was bitching about crowd sizes, Trump better because he is not senile. He's not senile according to you, or you know for a fact he's not senile. You don't think he's feeling the effects of old age, and you don't think his mind is all over the place and he's not a little demented? You don't think so? You don't think he fucks his words and sentences up and shit like Trump does? Let me see if I got something for you here, Ryan. I probably took it all down. Let me see.
And my stupid people, when I wanted to refute it, they said, sir, don't dignify it with a rebuttal.
Have you been noticing peculiar behavior recently in someone you know?
Carried out by
Someone who mixes fiction and reality?
the late great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man.
Perhaps someone of advanced age you have known for years.
Did you just see Maduro, Venezuela? It's unbelievable, Venezuela.
Of course, we all have our goofs. But consistently odd behavior can be a sign of frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative disease of the frontal and temporal lobes of the brain that dramatically impairs cognitive function. And there are some key signs to look out for, like slurring words,
The failing New York Times by an anonymous, really an anonymous.
struggling to find the correct words is another sign.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges of the investigation.
You may also notice someone veering into incoherent ideas, detached from reality.
You know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Or an inability to complete simple sentences.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Other notable symptoms include impaired motor function, such as a wavering limb, and decreased balance, often accompanied by a signature lean or arched stance. If someone you know is demonstrating several or all of these symptoms, they are seriously unwell. As a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities and disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative disease. Cognitive function will never return and will only deteriorate further. Don't ignore the signs.
Yeah, and here's the great part, Ryan, about your argument is that it's completely moot because Biden is not running for president. I don't know if you heard, Ryan. He's not running for president anymore. Well, I could see with my own eyes that Trump is demented. So what makes my opinion less valid than yours? I say Trump is demented. You say Biden's demented. Okay, but yet you're not telling me anything about policy or anything. You're just talking about, in your general opinion, Biden is senile, which again is moot because Biden's not running for president. Kamala Harris is. And I'm asking you for specific examples of what makes Trump better than Biden, but all you can tell me is senile. And you have the balls to say, not narrative, Trump better, because that's the first one. I can see with my own eyes. Yeah, he is demented. Nope, Tom, no massive Trump fan, but he's not a madman like Biden. He's not a madman like Biden. You're talking about the guy that yesterday, by the way, guys, yesterday during his press conference, claimed that he had more people on January 6th at his rally than Martin Luther King did when he gave the I Have a Dream speech. Oh, he said that yesterday. Go look up his press conference from yesterday, which is a great way to win black votes, by the way. Basically, what he was saying is he's better than Martin Luther King. Go watch the press conference, which is totally untrue. He said that Martin Luther King had 1 million people, or they said he had 1 million people, and they said Trump only had 25,000. Trump said we had way more than Martin Luther King. Now, first of all, he's confusing that event with the Million Man March. Martin Luther King Jr. had 250,000 people, not 1 million. Okay. And that was probably 10 times what Trump had. Go look at the side by sides. He's a madman. He's a fucking lunatic. You want to hear another example? Ryan Morrison, go look up his press conference. Don't take my word for it. He said yesterday that Willie Brown hates Kamala Harris and talked all types of trash about her when they were on a helicopter together and they almost didn't make it. The helicopter was going down. There was an emergency landing with him and Willie Brown in the helicopter. Now, here's the thing. Willie Brown was asked about this, and he laughed his ass off and said, I have no idea what he's talking about. I was never on a helicopter with him. And guess what? He wasn't. He doesn't know who Willie Brown is. He's talking about Jerry Brown, the governor of California. Gavin Newsom was on that helicopter and said, nobody ever said anything about Kamala on that whole fucking flight. There was no conversation about her. But Trump made up a story that rather than the governor, Jerry Brown, he was actually on the helicopter with Willie Brown, and Willie Brown talked all types of shit about Kamala Harris while they were making this emergency landing, except that never took place. That's just one of the million lies he's made up. And he's not a madman. He's not a madman, Ryan. Biden is just plain senile. He's getting old, okay, and he's, losing his mind. Trump is a madman, a maniac, a lunatic. He belongs in an insane asylum. He's actually nuts. He's crazy. He lied in 1982, I believe it was. He said he was on a helicopter. That there was a helicopter. I think it was somebody from his company or something like that. Helicopter crashed. People died. He said he was supposed to be on that helicopter. But here's the thing. No, he wasn't. He had never taken a helicopter into Atlantic City, they said. Never. And he wasn't supposed to that day either. He just made it up. He just lied. He just made the story up. That's a fact. So, now you ever hear Joe Biden do something like that? Trump lied 28 times during the Biden debate. 28 times. He lies constantly. He used to call the New York Times and pretend to be someone else and brag about Donald Trump himself. But he was pretending to be somebody else. Just so that the New York Times would print what a great guy Trump is, how popular he is, how much he's loved. He used to pretend to be somebody else to do that. He's not a madman. All right, Ryan. You got me. You're right. Biden is the real one to worry about.
I think you should take a cognitive test like I did. I took a cognitive test and I aced it. Doc Ronnie Johnson. Does everyone know Ronnie Johnson, congressman from Texas? He was the White House doctor. How good did Elise Stepanek do? You know, we've endorsed Dr. Oz. We've endorsed JP, right? JD Mandel, and he's doing great. Jimmy Connors is good. He's also happy.
Mike Bolton, John Bolton is here. Mike Bolton, as you know, is in Russia. And there was progress today. I look forward to solving it. Thank you, Steve.
It was Trump's fault. It's always Trump's fault. Can it ever be like Rick Gates's fault? I mean, it's always Trump's fault, Rick.
By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything, deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people. We have some of our great business leaders and leaders, period, right behind me. I may ask Marilyn Lockheed. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple.
Yes, please, Mr. Kurd.
Thank you very much for your time.
You know what was interesting? Joe Biden won against Barack Hussein Obama. Has anyone ever heard of him?
Arrest their leading political opponent, they're leading by a lot, including Obama. I'll tell you what, you take a look at Obama and take a look at some of the things that he's done.
And Putin, has so little respect for Obama that he's starting to throw around the nuclear word today. You heard that, nuclear.
Thanks for giving your first comments on the bill on this show. It means a lot to us. We appreciate it, sir. Thanks a lot.
You have a deal. Thanks a lot. Bye. Joe Bright, this guy is just the worst.
So will Christian ever run for president against you? And you heard the prime minister, you heard Netanyahu.
Maybe have Matt Blum speak next, because he's been so incredible in so many ways. He fights so hard. He loves his state. He loves the people. Think of it, a new branch of the United States military, United States Armed Forces, called Air Force. I never talked about that. That's something we never talked about.
But what we just saw, we just left pleasure.
A very big hello to a place where we've done very well, Sioux Falls. Thank you very much, Sioux Falls. Thank you.
So, Sioux City, let me ask you, and the worst president in the history of our country who is cognitively impaired, we would be in World War II very quickly. The worst president in the history of our country will be a fading nightmare. He'll be I have fading memory.
Yeah. And by the way, Ryan, let me read you something. And because, by the way, we weren't speaking about, we were talking about grocery prices and gas prices specifically. And then it turned into a whole conversation about printing money and inflation and blah, blah, blah. Listen, demand shocks and problems with supply chains contributed to increased volatility in import, export, producer, and consumer prices in the months following the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in the United States. Meat, fish, dairy, and eggs were especially affected by the shifting economy brought on by the pandemic, which is literally what I was saying. And you told me I was wrong. All right. Whatever you say, Ryan. Let's see. At the end of the day, women are able to run an entire family on their own, work full time, and be successful. Women are able to manage things by themselves that most men need help with. Very well said. Very true. Policy. Who is talking about policy? One is. One's talking about policy. Gotcha. You said. Let me find the comment. Where the fuck is it? You said that Trump is better than Biden. And I asked you if I could find the comment. I can't. Oh, Trump, not perfect, miles better than Biden. So I said, tell me how he's miles better than Biden. And you said Biden is senile, which is just your opinion. Because Biden gives amazing speeches all the time and shit. Sometimes he fucks up. But I asked you, how is he better than Biden? So I obviously that would, you'd base that opinion on some sort of policies of his you agree with or something like that. I mean, to just say, oh, I think Biden's senile and Trump isn't, that would be just your opinion. You're not telling me any reason that anybody should believe that Trump is better than Biden. And that's what I'm looking for from you. Look, he's not a madman like Biden. No, all those things I listed earlier, you're totally right. That's not indicative of a guy who's losing his fucking marbles. Let me see. They're all shit. Trump is lesser shit than Kamala or Biden. Oh, you mean the guy that was a lifelong con man, failed businessman, a criminal his entire life, who cheated on all of his wives, including fucking a porn star, while his current wife was pregnant with their only child. The guy who bragged about walking into beauty pageants sometimes where there was, or dressing rooms at beauty pageants sometimes where there was underage girls just so he could see them naked. The guy who's been accused of rape by a 13-year-old and an ex-wife. The guy who buried an ex-wife on his golf course just so he can get a tax break. And now her fucking grave is covered up with weeds and all types of other shit. The guy who never attended one of his kids' graduations. The guy who was convicted of 34 felonies and indicted on a total of like 91, I believe. The guy who has been accused of sexual assault 26 times since the 70s. You mean that guy, the ex-reality TV show host, who has claimed that everything he's ever lost is rigged, starting with the fucking Emmys when he didn't win... when The Apprentice didn't win an award. You mean the guy who still pushes lies about an election being stolen, even though 60 federal court cases and every other possible study that has been done has proven that it was a free and fair election and Biden just whooped his ass? You mean that guy? You mean the guy that that we see every day and on rallies and in press conferences saying bizarre shit, like he had more people on January 6th than Martin Luther King did when he gave the I Have a Dream speech? That guy? You mean the guy that talks about crowd sizes all day while Kamala and Tim Walz talk about the future? You mean that guy is less shit than Kamala, the very accomplished woman who was a district attorney, an attorney general, a vice president, and now the nominee for president of the United States, who doesn't have any criminal record or anything shady in her past, anything, literally so little that they have to make fun of her laugh because they have nothing bad they could say about her? Or do you mean Biden? Biden, the guy that, lost a daughter and a wife in a car accident, still took a train from Delaware to DC every day to do his job. Okay. And then, spent 50 years in the government, lost another son who was a veteran to cancer and still kept it moving to the point where he became president and is now ranked one of the greatest presidents in American history. You mean Trump is lesser shit than them? Okay, gotcha. I just wanted to make sure. What is that? What is Trump accordion? Oh, you got the thing? Okay, hold on. Give me a second. I will. Yeah, you're right, Michael. Things are great. The stock market is at record highs like every week. Stock market at record highs. People's 401ks are up. 15 million new jobs have been added to the economy. Wages are up. Inflation's down. Crime is lower. Violent crime is lower than it ever was under Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? He's passed all types of amazing policy, got all types of great legislation passed for vets and every fucking thing else. You know what I mean? He did wonders for COVID, for the pandemic. Yeah, you're right, man. If Kamala Harris takes office, we are fucked. Trump, the guy that raised and wants to continue raising taxes on the middle class while he gives tax cuts to the richest 1%. The guy who would sell our country to Putin if he could, who was in love with dictators like Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un, Maduro, Putin. Yeah, Trump better become president in 2025 or we're screwed. The guy's been found civilly liable for rape, which is literally equal to being convicted of it in a criminal case. Yeah, the guy who botched COVID so bad, he destroyed our entire economy. He left with less jobs than he started with, 2.5 million less jobs than he took office with. Being only the second president to ever do that, the other one being Herbert Hoover. Yeah, you're right, bro. Your livelihood depends on Trump being in office. Because these last 4 years have been a total disaster. If you listen to Fox News. Watch the speech that Trump's wife stole from First Lady Michelle Obama, word for word. Stole the whole speech, word for word. Absolutely, yep. Billions and billions and billions. Yeah, J.D. Mandel, he called him. He doesn't even know, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't even know who his vice president is. It's a democratic republic, Springfield selected. It's a democratic republic. That's what it is. FBS, he also said Henry VIII created Catholic Church, not Protestant. Shaking my head. Who, Ryan did? Well, I don't know too much about that, but yeah, I'm sure he's wrong. Thank you for the $1.99 though, Ryan. Look, at least he donates. Anybody else want to donate? For fuck's sake, an hour and 35 minutes in, and here I am killing it. You have a rogue wrench that blocked me and took my comments down. Somebody blocked Casey Robinson and took his comments down, and he has a wrench. Who could have done that? That would have had to have been a managing moderator, right? Casey, can you send me your link, bro, to your channel? I'll unblock you right now. Not to mention, women are the ones who have so much control over men. They're every man's weakness. We don't have that power over them. A woman's president. A woman president woke. I think he meant will be okay. I just find like, oh, you just don't like this one? That's okay. You don't have to like her. You don't have to like her. This is kind of like back in the day when they would play Green Needle and people would hear Brainstorm. Some people just don't see it the same. I don't know what the fuck that. I never heard of Green Needle. I'm not even sure what you're talking about. So the president is a get out of jail free. The presidency is a get out of jail free card. He's not an ideologue or a statesman. He's in it for himself. Of course, he is without a doubt. No, Ryan, that's the great thing about when I say things. I don't just say things like from my opinion. I did not say Biden is one of the greatest presidents. The 154 presidential scholars did. You know what I mean? 154 presidential scholars. They actually ranked Obama at 14. How do you like that? Matter of fact, let me make sure let me see. Biden might not be ranked in that. I thought he was. Oh, I'm sorry. Biden, 14th in Scholars presidential ranking. Trump last. Biden, 14th. I thought it was Obama. I think Obama is, ranked even better. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I think the number 154 is right. Let me just make sure. Joe Biden's job performance over his first 3 years in the White House is being viewed more favorably by presidential experts than by Americans overall. A new ranking of United States 45 presidents reveals the rankings released Sunday, a day before President's Day, placed Biden at the 14th president, as the 14th best president in history, among the top third to serve in the Oval Office. That stands in stark contrast with his approval rating of 41% last month, the lowest at this point of any presidency. Blah 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 blah. Biden is seeking re-election. Okay, so you got the point about the study. So that's 100. Let me just make sure it was 154. By the way, was it Joe Bag of Donuts that said Josh Shapiro didn't get picked because he couldn't help them win Pennsylvania? Joe Bag of Donuts, you know that Josh Shapiro has like a 61% approval rating, which is amazing as governor, right? I don't know if you know that. Let me see. I just want to see how many presidential scholars. I'm pretty sure it was 154. But you can look it up. I'm not the only one with Google. So yeah, you're right. 154 people that are way smarter than you, Ryan, that are literally experts on the current and all past presidents throughout American history. They ranked him as 14th best president in American history. Not me. Not me. Good thing he still has his crackhead son. Well, listen, Michael, it's shitty because, we do addiction and recovery shows. I think you even attend them. So we usually don't hold, unless they're really evil motherfuckers, we usually don't hold people's drug addictions against them, do we? I mean, his crackhead son, is that necessary? I mean, we could look at this. Let me see. Let me see if I could find this. Jesse Roth just sent me a message that said Casey doesn't have a werewolf. Oh, and then she corrected it and said wrench. She doesn't have a werewolf. Is he in here? What's going on? Casey doesn't have a wrench. What do you mean? Casey, can you send me your thing? Hold on. Who is he interviewing? J.D. Vance? Let's see. Let's take a look at this, Michael. Tell me what you think. Because I've been telling you for a long time that Don Jr. is at the very least on powder cocaine. And I'm an expert in that field. Nobody could tell me otherwise. Let's check this out. Let's see what we think.
I want to play for you a very interesting interview.
Let me see if I could just get to the interview part. Okay.
Junior was completely out of his mind, seemingly sped up during this interview. I wanted to let you know, I am not speeding up the video here. This is the normal, natural speed of the video. And Junior is out of his mind. What I think is happening
exactly, Kat, nothing to do with it.
The rumor that Don Jr. and Eric pushed Trump to pick J.D. Vance is true. The selection is backfiring for all of the reasons we talked about. Off of his presages come, all seems to be feeling like Vance. He's not,
a trans communist, this, that, and the other. Like, you too can end up in we need to check
that up the video.
Like, there's some of them are we don't even want white women. Like, it doesn't we need to check 3 or 4 boxes. So you can end up in if you're a trans communist, this, that, and the other. Like, you too can be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company with no experience whatsoever. He's actually spent real time with them. And he's sort of, I would say he's the blue collar billionaire. And 15 years ago when I said it, people used to shit all over me. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you don't understand. And now they understand. What the borders are, wrote the article. It wasn't even it was the same publication. It was the same journalist. I'm like, this you? To literally save democracy, because it's literally at risk, JD.
And if you're only listening, you can't see, first of all, the absolutely bizarre way that he's sitting in the chair. but
I
also
know.
the hands are
That shit, him and his father, they are so fucking weird. Look at how he's sitting. What the fuck?
just gesticulating wildly.
That's like if notion that democracy is all things, but if the elite, meaning Barack Obama, the Clintons, a couple billionaire donors, be like, okay, this isn't working. We're going to take everything we gave you. We didn't give you any other options. We threw RFK off the ticket.
Yep.
We basically tried to push anyone else from happening. So we gave you your only choice. You actually then chose that person, and now America is not there. Now they're pretending, no, she's a moderate. They did the same thing with Joe Biden. He's going to be so moderate. He's so moderate. Look, he's moderate.
Yeah.
The policies were not. I hate to say it, but literally, but it's like me, a couple other people that we're friends with that are like, hey.
All right. So I won't.
All right. So there you go. So Biden isn't the only one with a crackhead son, but Kat is right though. What the fuck does his son have to do with anything? Do we have to talk about how Don and Eric and Ivanka are complete fucking con men themselves and thieves and scam artists and everything else? I mean, Hunter Biden is probably 10 times the fucking man Don Jr. is. And Don Jr., look at him. He's high as a fucking kite. He's sweating like a whore in church. He's talking a mile a fucking minute. He can't shut the fuck up. And the whole interview was like that. J.D. Vance barely got a chance to fucking speak. And I've told you, he's done social media lives where and he's talking about men. Like, come on. That's a bad thing to say if you're supporting Donald Trump. Have perfect children? Do they have bearing in our success? Exactly. Come on. Yeah. Yes, I made $5,000 in a week on my stock recently. Well, Kat, my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal are in the chat. You can also send a donation by Super Chat or Super Sticker. No, see, good. That's good. See, yeah, people are killing it. The stock market. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, GDP is up. Everything. The only way you see the economy is doing badly is if you've been brainwashed into believing it, or if you're just, again, willfully ignorant. You're not willing to pay attention. The economy is fantastic. It has been, guys. I'm sorry. I know that hurts your feelings. And again, if you're bothered by the interest rates and stuff like that, go talk to Trump, because look it up. Look it up. He has threatened the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, okay, to not lower interest rates. He did the same thing with gas prices. He doesn't give a fuck what it's costing you guys. He just needs to be elected so he can keep his ass out of prison. So he's fucking all of you over. All of you. Had to make a new channel. What the fuck? Hold on. Guys, I'd appreciate if you could donate. We're going on 2 hours now. Meantime, let me figure this out. While I do, I'm going to give everybody this to watch.
Donald Trump has never, ever been right in the head.
The late, great Hannibal Lecter.
He's a wonderful man. An enormous, really an ominous. We got up! And then they announced there was no buys, no. We've endorsed JP, right? J.D. Mandel. Take a look at the oranges of the investigation. Venezuela. If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, they say the noise causes cancer. I know more about wind than you do. I don't know what I said. Joe Biden won against Barack Hussein Obama. They have voter ID. They have ID on everything. You buy a loaf of bread, you have ID. The first non-incumbent. The kidney has a very special place in the heart. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to one injection inside or almost a cleaner. That an illegal one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
Learn more at psychopac.org.
Ryan said he's a madman, Biden. And meanwhile, Trump, he just randomly at every single rally now goes on a mad tear about Hannibal Lecter and Al Capone, and out of his fucking mind. But yeah, he's totally normal. And Michael Hensley said, yeah, that's proof. Yeah, it is proof. It absolutely is proof. You can't look at that, and unless you're biased. If you're biased towards Donald Trump and his children, you're going to say, no, he's fine. That's not proof he's high. If it was somebody you didn't like, you'd say, look at him. He's coked out of his fucking mind. Michael, you know he is. But again, Michael, well, listen, no offense. I love you, bro. I know you're a smart guy. But do you think there's any chance that 154 presidential scholars might know more than you? You think? Because they know more than me. That's for goddamn sure. So a great he's been a fucking great president without a doubt. Now Trump, on the other hand, is ranked the worst. He's been ranked the worst president in American history by those American scholars or presidential scholars. And I know what you're going to say. They're biased. Sure. Everything anti-Trump comes from bias. I know. It can't just be that it's true. You know what I mean? Can't be. 154, right? Why are they BS? Just, it's all opinion. But what you're saying is fact. Think about what you're saying, Ryan. What you're saying is total and complete opinion. But then when you hear 154 scholars give their opinion, it's BS. So your opinion is more valid than theirs. Okay, again, just checking, want to make sure. Obama was ranked 7th. There you go, 7th. Albie won't give me my password, FBS. Oh, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Nobody's donating, guys. Come on. Junior is such a douche. He is. He's a scumbag. Michael, listen, man. When I was using drugs, I did crazy shit too. I did crazy shit too. But the bigger question is, I don't know why you're making fun of Biden for being a drug addict. It's a very strange thing. I wouldn't usually expect that from you. That's your Trump supporter side coming out. But what does it matter? Just out of curiosity. Again, like I told Ryan earlier, you do know that Joe Biden isn't running for president, right? You do know that, right? He is president, and he will be until January 21st of 2025. But he's not running for president. So this is, again, what people do because there ain't shit to say about Kamala. Let's talk about Biden still. There's nothing to say about Kamala. We'll make fun of her laugh, and we'll just go back to talking about Biden. Either way, I love you, Michael. He's projecting dominance. Yeah, he looks like he's about ready to take a cock in his ass. Hey, FBS, at least Trump, a mass believer in being sober. Get him on your addiction show. At least Junior has Kimberly Guilfoyle for company. I'd trade sobriety for that. She's a cunt. Why? Just because she's good looking? You never had a hot chick in your life, bro? And no, I don't believe for a second Trump never did drugs. You guys might believe that. He tells you he never did drugs, so you believe him. There has been people that have accused him. Even just during his presidency, people came out and said he was snorting fucking Adderall and everything else. I mean, come on. Like, people throughout decades have said that they've seen him doing cocaine and everything else. Drinking, probably not. He had a brother who died from alcoholism. But you think he doesn't do drugs because he told you that. You don't know that. It's like Michael Hensley said, yeah, that's proof. Okay, so Trump saying he never did drugs is not proof. Meanwhile, Michael, you're, again, this completely and totally out of bias. If you saw some Democrat you don't like acting like Don Jr. was, covered in sweat like he was, you'd be honest, and you'd say, without a doubt, that guy's high as a fucking kite, no question. The orange guy tells more lies than Mr. Peterman on Seinfeld. Have a great weekend, everybody. You too. Steve Blair, Ryan Morrison, my retirement funds are killing it right now. Steve, I forgot to call you. I just fucking realized. I'm glad I saw you. Yeah, I'll call you after the show. If I don't, yeah, you got my number. Call me after the show, bro. Please do. Some of water taken away out of context. War, I assure you they're not. They are not. Tell me which one, and I will tell you. Those are not cherry-picked clips. He's regularly fucked up in the head. Okay? Fox News cuts away for that shit. I could prove it to you. But tell me which one was taken out of context, and I'll tell you the context. My retirement stocks are doing great. I bet they are, Edward Everett. Everybody's are. Yeah, I can't find him either, War. I don't know where the fuck. They said Casey created a new account. I don't see him. Selective clips. But okay, let's just say that's true, which it's not. I watch his rallies. Guys, I watch every Trump rally. He fucks up constantly. He's got cognitive issues. There's no question about it. He thought Nikki Haley was Nancy Pelosi. He really did. He didn't just accidentally say Biden beat Obama in the election. He's out of his fucking mind. He's out of his mind. Some of them, are they that serious? No, he just fucked up words. But you can't tell me otherwise, bro. They're not selective clips. They're just clips you don't want to see. They're clips you don't want to see. But you'll show Biden clips all day and swear to God that that's how he is all the time, even though it's not. The State of the Union speech, the rally he gave in North Carolina the day after the debate, the one he gave when he decided not to run for office again. The guy's as lucid and well-spoken as a person could be. But you ignore all that, and you look at these Fox News clips like where Biden is just staring off into space, but in reality, what they're not showing you is that he's talking to a fucking skydiver. And if you Google it and look up the real video, you'll see that. That's what they do to make you guys think things. Ryan Morrison, there is no bigger user of selective clips than Fox fucking News and the right-wing media. I got news for you. In regards to the addiction recovery shows, we put labels on people because they are amped up. Really? As a person who is an expert in cocaine abuse, yeah, absolutely. I can say if somebody's on cocaine. There's no question about it, Michael. No question about it. Lefty could tell you when a person's on heroin any time of day. He sees somebody on heroin, he's going to know. He's an expert on it. You know what I mean? If you're an alcoholic, you spot an alcoholic. That guy's on cocaine. And that's not the only clip, bro. Michael, I've seen clips like this going back years. Everybody knows Donald Trump Jr. is on cocaine. Everybody knows that. So yeah, I can say that. Yeah, some people are in denial about their addiction. You know what they say, right? Realizing you have a problem is the first step. Well, sometimes people got to tell you have a problem. He has a problem. Sure you are right. Sure they are right. So why didn't the right-wing ones come out and say, no, Trump was the best? How come? I wonder. No, Ryan, you're just biased and they're honest. Okay, Trump is the worst president in the history of America. But you're offering me no you're not telling me any reasons why I'm wrong about this. You're not correcting me on anything. Why is that? Trump jerking off two guys at the same time. Oh, those are those AI videos. They're hilarious. I'm not making fun of him. I'm stating a fact. As a political show, we are going back and forth with our political views. The Bidens are the ones that put themselves in the limelight. Yeah, well, by Biden being president, well, you could say that about the Trumps too, right? Wouldn't you say that about the Trumps too? They put themselves in the limelight. So when we find out about Jared Kushner taking $2 billion from Saudi Arabia and the hundreds of millions of dollars that the Trump kids, the Trump children made off of their father's presidency and stuff like that. You know what I mean? We can't mention that. I agree with you. You're right. But you can't just mention what's going on one side, bro. You know what I mean? You can't. I came out the day that of the debate that night, or the next day, I forget which it was, and I absolutely destroyed Biden because he was so fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So I'll look at things on both sides. Okay, Hunter Biden was a guy with a drug problem. Absolutely. So was I. Many of the people in this chat were too. You know what I mean? He was a kid with a drug problem. I don't understand what that says about him. What are you telling me that it says about him? And of course, we're going back and forth. You have every right to say what you're saying, bro. I just mean that Biden, again, we're talking about Hunter Biden. This is something that's, been beaten to death. And Biden's not running for president. So honestly, I could just agree with everything you say about Hunter, and it still wouldn't matter because neither Hunter nor his father are running for president. I look at Hunter as a guy who had a severe drug problem, the same way I see myself. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And I think John Jr. is somebody with a severe, or Don Jr. is somebody with a severe drug problem. That's all. So I don't know. What is your proof that he's not? That he said so, right? Somebody sent me videos a while ago. If that person is listening, somebody sent me videos during a political show a while back, but I didn't play them. Is when we were talking about this same thing. And it was people that have accused Trump of being on drugs. Absolutely. So you got numerous people that have accused him of doing drugs. And then he, the biggest liar in the history of America, saying that he didn't do drugs. So which ones would I believe? The ones that I see as credible or the guy I see as the least credible human being on planet Earth. Donald Trump is not a pathological liar because I say so. He's a pathological liar because he's a pathological liar. He lies constantly. He lied like 40 times during that fucking press conference yesterday. He lies constantly. Yeah, but none of us are fighting, bro. That would be my opinion at that point, and you know that. I'm not sure which thing, Michael. Yeah, divisiveness, but I think we're doing okay in here. That Donald Jr. clip is taken out of context. I'm sorry, that Donald Jr. is a taken out of context clip. In what way? War, who are we talking about? Guys, War, do me a favor, text me, because you know how this goes. I don't know what either one of you are talking about. War, text me what clips you're talking, or comments you're talking about. I have no idea. As far as Donald Jr., how is that taken out of context, bro? He's covered in sweat, and he's talking a mile a minute. That's taken out of context? I don't understand what you're saying. I'm very confused by that. Yeah, well, listen, Ryan has a lot of strange opinions. They believe all the idiocy that comes out of that guy's mouth. It's insane, isn't it, Kat? It really is. You know, if you're a person who looks at this guy for who he is and listens to him and watches him and doesn't, you know, isn't brainwashed to the point where everything you see and hear you choose to not to believe or whatever, then you'd be terrified of this guy becoming president again. Yeah, watch both sides, exactly. So why didn't the Democrats want Biden to run again if he was as lucid as you claim? Because he was losing. He was way behind in the polls where he was going to lose. That's why. And I'm not saying he's totally lucid. I'm saying that you can't say that he's like that, like he was at the debate all the time. You can't. I could show you examples. Come on, man. Listen, this is the day after the debate. Come on, guys. I mean, you're lying to yourselves. You're lying to your fucking selves. And Biden, this is what I want to ask you, Michael. Are you willing to concede that Trump is out of his mind? When he says things like his crowd on January 6th was bigger than the crowd during Martin Luther King's I Had a Dream speech. Do you concede that that's lunacy? Do you concede that when he says he had 107,000 people in Wildwood and that is literally physically impossible, that's insane? Do you concede that? If not, then come on, stop telling me what I should believe. You know what I mean? Because you're not looking at facts, bro. And as far as the comments, let me see. I was talking about the comments Trump Sr. made, bro. Yeah, I don't know which ones. I played 3 videos, probably had somewhere around 300 or 400 comments. I don't know which ones. If you tell me one of them, or 10 of them, or 20 of them, I will show you how they're not taken out of context. I will show you. I won't even tell you. I will show you how they're not taken out of context. None of that stuff. I watch this shit 24 hours a day. What's taken out of context? I need you to tell me. Is it the Nikki Haley thing? What is it? Please, War, help me, work with me. It's very frustrating for me because I know that whatever it is, I could prove you're wrong. No offense, I love you, but I don't say shit on here because I'm biased. I say shit because they're facts. Everything I say on here is a fact, with the exception of obvious opinions. You know what I mean? If I say I think Trump's the biggest scumbag in the whole world, that's not a fact. That's my opinion. But when we're talking about specific issues, I speak facts. They aren't honest. They aren't honest because they didn't pick your guy, Ryan. That's why they aren't honest. He didn't start any war. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is another thing. Ryan, this is how I know you don't know a lot about this shit. He didn't start any wars. That's a common right-wing talking point. That's what people say. He didn't start any wars. Biden started wars? What war did Biden start? Just out of curiosity. I want to know. No, I have to, bro. I have to because, you know, if you're judging Hunter based on a bunch of different things, that's cool. But if you're if you're judging him based on just his drug addiction, I mean, like Don Jr., I'm not saying something based on just that one clip. You know what I mean? Or my bias towards him. You know, he's obviously fucked up on cocaine. I've seen clips going back years. He's a fucking mess. He's a mess. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not going to attack him for his drug addiction. I simply brought it up because of what you said about Hunter. Like you said, we're going back and forth, Michael. It's a political show. You know what I mean? But let me start moving because I got to get out of here, guys. It's 7:00. It's Shanna time. I got shit to do. By kissing the asses of dictators, I guess, in a way, Ryan. By bowing down to dictators. Yeah, you got to. You got to watch it all. You got to watch it all. You're right, Tom. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm going to ask again, guys, if you wouldn't mind donating, I'd appreciate it. You didn't have a choice but to call out Biden after the debate. Why didn't I? I could have ignored it. A lot of people in my shoes would have just ignored it because I was, you know, I wasn't really a major defender of Biden, but I was against Trump. So a lot of guys would have just ignored it. I did like a fucking super long show where I just demolished Biden. I didn't have to do that. How did I not? I had choices. Talk about the debate last night or talk about Nick Romano or Lefty or Tony Pizza or MRE and just completely ignore Biden. No. I'll tell you when Biden fucks up. Anytime, guys, I will tell you. But if you're going to tell me that all that shit Fox News shows you is actually proof of him being senile, I can prove to you that they've used clips just to make it look that way, and it's not real. So, Ward, please let me know which comments you're talking about that were taken out of context. I need specifics. And if you don't give me any, then I'm assuming that you're just saying things are taken out of context. Because none of that stuff is taken out of context. I don't even see how it could be. But if you give me an example, I'll tell you. Like the Nikki Haley thing. The Nikki Haley thing, he was talking about Nancy Pelosi turning down National Guard troops, which is ridiculous. She doesn't have that authority. That never happened. Never happened. Okay. And he was saying that it was Nikki Haley. He was saying Nikki Haley, Nikki Haley, Nikki Haley. And in like a minute period, he said it like 5 or 6 times. He confused her for Nancy Pelosi. That's not a cognitive issue. It's not like when he said Tim Apple instead of Tim Cook. That's he's a moron. That's just him being a moron. But when you confuse one lady, a lady who you're running against for president of the United States in the primaries versus Nancy Pelosi, the ex-speaker of the House and everything else, and you go on with it, you say it repeatedly over like a minute's time. I mean, that's not a sign of a cognitive issue. And the things about Obama and Biden, if that's what you're talking about, War, he absolutely has said on probably 15 to 20 different occasions that he beat Obama in the election instead of Biden. He says, I beat Obama. He says that Biden beat Obama in the election. And numerous times he's talked about current things that are going on. And he says that that Obama is responsible for these things numerous times. Matter of fact, not only are those not taken out of context, that's not even a sliver of all the shit that's out there. It's not even a sliver, bro. Let me see. Exactly, FBS, how does anyone make an informed, rational choice without watching both? You can't, really. You can't. On what issue, Ryan Morrison? It depends on what issue. Nope, Trump is not out of his mind, guilty of hyperbole, then yes, but he is the greatest option. But again, this is just your opinion. You're ignoring, all the facts that he's, cognitively fucked up. You're ignoring it. And you're just saying that because you want to say it. So no offense, but your opinion is meaningless on this. Like when I say that Biden is one of the greatest presidents, I have 154 scholars that back it up. When you say Trump is the best, it's just you saying Trump is the best. And when you say Trump is not out of his mind, you're ignoring hundreds and hundreds of psychologists and psychiatrists who have studied him and said he's without a doubt suffering cognitive impairment. You're ignoring that and you're just saying he's not out of his mind because Ryan Morrison said he's not out of his mind. You know what I mean? There's more people at my birthday party than the mall for oranges inauguration speech. Yeah, there wasn't many, but he made that an issue, bro. You guys don't think he's nuts? You guys don't think he's nuts for constantly being worried about his crowd sizes and his ratings? You don't think that's bizarre from a guy who wants to be president again? You don't think so? Is Trump Jr. on the ticket? Why your silence on the laptop? Strange. I could give a fuck about the laptop. I don't care if it proves that Hunter Biden was a fucking serial pedophile. So Hunter Biden is in no way, shape, or form running for office. I'm not ignoring the laptop. It's a moot point. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Who gives a fuck what's on the laptop? Again, I'll sit here and say that Hunter Biden is anything you want him to be. I'll agree with you. Yep, he's that. Just name something. I'll say, yep, he's that. What effect does it have on anything? Hunter Biden has never run for political office of any kind. So it's you guys that keep talking about that horse shit. You know what I mean? It's you guys. And as far as is Trump Jr. on the ticket, no, but he has a hell of a lot more involvement with his dad's campaign and presidency than Hunter ever had with Joe Biden's. But still, it wasn't even, I didn't bring Don Jr. up to bring him up. I brought him up because if you're going to talk about, like Mike Lenslie talking about Hunter Biden being a crackhead and you're going to ignore all the obvious signs that Don Jr. is a serious cocaine addict, then come on, you're being a hypocrite. Or you're just being, willfully ignorant. Oh, yeah. I love the debates. I love debating. Trump Jr., but silence on Biden laptop. Strange, Biden has dementia. I had it in 2020. Or had it in 2020, obvious to my lying eyes. All right, well, I just wonder how he does shit like this. Hold on. This is the day after the debate, guys. The day after the debate.
Thank you, North Carolina. I'm going to get in trouble with my mom looking down in heaven if I don't say. And then he lied about how great he was for veterans. But then I told him how he had called a veteran and had given their lives in the country in World War I and refused to go to the grave sites. He called them suckers and losers. He tried to deny it. But let me ask you, are you going to believe a 4-star Marine general, his own former chief of staff, John Kelly, who said he said that? Or the disgraced, defeated and lying Donald Trump? Look, he doesn't understand what I think all of you do. America is the finest, the most unique nation in the world. We're the only nation in the world, and I mean this sincerely. It's a fact statement, not a hyperbolic statement. It's fact. We're the only nation in the world built on an idea. All the nations built on ethnicity, geography, and other religion. But I will defend it. Give up what makes America America. Yeah! Donald Trump is motivated by revenge and retribution. Well, revenge and retribution never built a damn thing. You and I, we Americans, are a nation of hope, optimism, and possibilities. That's what always built America. That's going to continue.
See, your lying eyes aren't seeing those things, Ryan. That's the problem. You're seeing cherry-picked clips of him fucking up. That's what you're seeing. That was one of the most inspirational speeches ever given. Go watch it. It was the day after the debate. Now, are you saying he has moments of senility or dementia? Is that a thing? Or is he just getting old as a motherfucker? You tell me. But I know what you'll say already. Sabrina Merrick, $5. Great show, FBS. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Sabrina. Let me see. Your scholars are meaningless and biased liberals, but you are right. My opinions are negligible. But at least I can espouse my negligible opinions on here. Okay, so this is what I want you to do, Ryan, because you wouldn't just say that without knowing who the scholars are, right? So what I want you to do is tell me. Now you'll Google it or some shit. Tell me which scholars you're talking about by name. Tell me which scholars. I'll be done in like 10 minutes, baby. That's all right. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Love you. Tell me which scholars, because you wouldn't just say that 154 scholars are biased liberals without knowing who they are, because for all you know, they could be conservatives, right? So just out of curiosity, tell me which ones. How are we moving the goalpost, Michael? That's what you guys do. That's not what I do. We're watching this to make the point. But see, Michael's acting like as if I'm just putting it on, and then he could use the same point against me that Joe Biden's not running. No, Ryan has been bashing Joe Biden and talking up Donald Trump when it comes to the dementia, senility thing, and all that shit the entire show. So I'm showing you that Joe Biden is completely lucid sometimes and gives unbelievable speeches. You know what I mean? And I could show you a bunch more. Go watch any of the speeches he's given in the last couple of months. You know what I mean? Like, go watch the one when he said he was dropping out, when he endorsed Kamala. Go watch those speeches. Go watch the rallies he did after the debate. They're fucking incredible. Go watch them. You know what I mean? So a guy who's demented or senile can't do that. He can't turn it on and off. You know what I'm saying? So he's 100,000 years old. The motherfucker is, not supposed to be this active in life. He's not supposed to be. He's going to fuck shit up. But he was still a better president than Trump. And 154 scholars say it. So my point remains, guys. What you're saying is opinion based on nothing but your eyes and ears and your biased, mindset. And what I'm saying is based on something that's backed up by people who are experts in the field. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I'm not being a dick, but let's be honest here. You tell me who ranked Trump as the 14th greatest president or one of the greatest presidents. Tell me. I want to know who. Right on FBS, I saw too the many experts who have diagnosed this guy's fantasy land, narcissistic, diminishing mind. He's out of his fucking mind, without a doubt. Do you guys want to be judged for what our children could or have done? No. And by the way, if anybody's saying, I don't know if the comments that were supposedly taken out of context, nobody will name a single comment. I keep asking War and Michael Hensley and everybody which comments were taken out of context. They won't tell me. But if you're talking about the Don Jr. clip, which I think you're talking about because he said senior, Don Jr., it has nothing to do with anything he said. It was his behavior and his appearance that made it glaringly obvious that he's a cocaine addict. I'm unable anymore to debate. I admit I have the cognitive ability. I admit I don't have the cognitive ability any longer to remember the important facts. Doesn't mean they don't exist. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Kat. Listen, I forget more shit than I remember, but probably not the way you're speaking of, Most academics are on the left. Very few are conservative at all. Scholars are just an opinion. Oh, no, they're not an opinion. Scholars are scholars because they're highly educated on a certain topic. So they can give a non-biased opinion. Do you understand what I'm saying? Listen to what I'm saying. You don't become a scholar by just being a guy off the street. There's years and years and years of education and decades of work to become a scholar. So you're an expert in your field. It's not just an opinion. You are an expert. If a doctor tomorrow, God forbid, tells me that I have a certain health issue, it's not his opinion. It's a fact. He based it on fact, on science, on test results, on blood work, on x-rays. So if a scholar tells you something about a president, he's basing it on the facts of that person's presidency, the economy, foreign policy, domestic policy, everything. Every metric, every statistic. That's what they're basing it on. They're not just saying, I don't like Donald, so we're going to put him at last. I do like Obama. We'll put him at 7th. No, this is based on a million different pieces of evidence, Ryan. So it's not just opinion. It's not just opinion. But who isn't non-biased, Ryan? You're just saying things. Tell me who. Which scholar is a liberal? Or which ones? Tell me right now. Otherwise, what you're saying is just you being biased. You don't get that? Education doesn't equal intelligence. I agree. But if you're a scholar in the field of American presidents, then yeah, you know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Education, you can be educated in a certain field or certain fields. It doesn't mean that you have common sense. You could be a fucking moron when it comes to common sense. But if you're educated in a certain thing, you know what I mean? Like, think about what you're saying. Education doesn't equal intelligence. So education, a doctor doesn't know more than, say, you or I do. Like, you would be better at not diagnosing somebody with leukemia than a doctor would. No, the education has given him the knowledge, skills, and know-how to understand the human body and health conditions and blood work and all these different things, diseases, sicknesses of all types. So he's an expert in his field. Presidential scholars are experts in their fields. And I just whipped your motherfucking monkey ass, Ryan. Sorry, but you got to admit it. Guys, I got to go. I love you all. And until next time, salute.